Well, hey everybody, it's your boy Mr. Perry, and here we are, lesson 5, and today we're looking at mutators or setters, so let's get into it. So as we learned in the previous lesson, instance variables are all labeled as private, so we can't access them directly due to data encapsulation. And set methods are a public method that takes in parameters which will change or alter the value of an instance variable. So it's important when you're designing a class to think about which of your instance variables you would want somebody else to be able to alter, and as long as it makes sense that one of these should be able to be altered, then you can go ahead and create a set method for it. The process for creating a mutator or a set method is somewhat similar to what we did before with get methods, with a few changes. Mutators, all right, so what we need to do is we need to add a public set method in order to allow the values of each instance variable to be updated to a new value. And again, like we did before, we're going to start with the word public because we want to make sure that this is accessible outside of our class file. And now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use the word void. Set methods they don't have a return type, so instead of putting a return type, we put void. And then next we have the name of the method. Again, the standard thing to do is to put set and then the name of your instance variable. But now we're actually going to add a data type and a parameter in the parentheses. And the data type needs to match the data type of your instance variable. Now, the name of your parameter may or may not be the same as your instance variable. And again, we'll look at how you change things based on the way things are set up. After that, we're going to add our curly braces. And then finally, you need to update the instance variable using the parameter. Now, you can see the constructor on this one, they used the same variable names for the 3 formal parameters. So they did, when they did the constructor, they did, this dot title equals title, this dot runtime equals runtime. So it would make sense for your set methods to do the same approach, string title, and then go ahead and say this dot title equals title. And then that way Java knows that, this dot title is referring to the instance variable version of it, whereas title without the this is referring to the formal parameter, which is being passed in here. So, just remember to do that. If the name of your parameter matches the name of your instance variable, you got to use the keyword this to indicate which one is the instance variable and then which one is the parameter. Now, the other thing you can do is if in your constructor you use different variable names for your instance variables, then you can get away with just saying title equals T, runtime equals RT, rating equals R. So then in that case, you would probably make your set methods match that same process. If the name of the parameter does not match the name of your instance variable, then you can just say title equals T, and then that way there's no, you don't have to use the keyword this. And then another thing to consider is that with set methods, you can always check for correctness. Sometimes it is a good idea to check for correctness before you go ahead and update your instance variable. So for instance, with runtime, it's impossible for a movie to have a runtime less than 0. When we are updating runtime, for instance, and we're checking the new RT as our parameter, we can say if new RT is greater than 0, go ahead and update your runtime. But, and again, in that case, it makes sense to do it like that. So for an instance variable such as runtime, it makes sense to check whether it is greater than 0 before assigning it to the instance variable. All right, well, we've come to the end of our lesson here. So like we did before, we're going to look at a class, the standard class that you see right here. And then we have 5 set methods over here. So go ahead and pause the video and look at which of these would be a valid set method for the class. I'm going to assume you've paused the video at this point. So we'll go ahead and look at the solution here. So the first 3 are incorrect, but the last 2 are correct. Public void set first name string fn, so the header is correct, but there's no need to return anything. So because again, set methods don't return anything. So this is messing that one up, and of course we would not return GPA when we're setting the GPA, so that's why this one's also wrong. Down here, public void set GPA, there's nothing in the parameters here. There's nothing in the parentheses being passed in as parameters. So this one is wrong. However, these last two are correct. Public void get grade, int new grade. You can just say grade equals new grade. And then public void set last name, string last name. Well, that matches last name, so you would have to do this dot last name equals last name. And then we'll do one more. So which of the following would be valid calls in a class other than student? We're going to go ahead and look at, let's go ahead and just assume we had a complete class file here with a constructor as well as get and set methods. So now here we are in a separate class file, and we've created a student object, student new stu equals new student, and we've passed in all of this information. So now we've got some attempts to use our get methods and our set methods. So once again, just pause the video, read through what's here, and look at which of these are valid calls to our set and get methods, and which of them are not. And again, I'm going to assume you've paused the video and you've worked your way through what we've got. So let's go ahead and check out our solution. So the first one, the second one, and the fourth one are all correct. String name equals, and then here we are calling the get method for first name and last name and concatenating that with a string. So this would all be stored there. Down here we are printing out newstu.getGrade. So again, that would print out the grade, okay. And then down here, newstu.setGrade12. This is how you would call a set method using the object newstu. And again, we're just needing to update the grade from 11 to be 12. So again, that would be correct. You do not need to put set methods in print statements. So this one is incorrect. And you also don't need to store set methods in variables. So this one is incorrect. And then down here, you can't just print out newstu.gpa, which is a reference to the data type, or the instance variable. You have to say newstu.getGPA in order to have that in a print statement. All right, guys, well, lesson review here. We've learned that set methods are all void methods, and void methods do not return a value. The header contains the keyword void before the method name, and a mutator method or a setter is a void method that changes the values of an instance variable or a static variable. And with that, we've come to the end of our lesson. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to leave a question or a comment as always, and I'll see you in class.